Welcome home, masters and misses. My name's HidoriKuro, and welcome back to a new episode of House Odyssey Reacts. It's a series where I, the host and founder of House Odyssey, react to videos sent by you all, the masters and misses, over on social media, or whatever catches my fancy. Today, we are, of course, reacting to another death battle between none other than Perfect Cell and Metal Sonic, two of my favorite antagonists from both DBZ and the Sonic universe. This matchup is going to be a bit tricky, I feel like, because number one, the one thing we have to keep in account with these two characters, they're created based off their respective world's strongest warriors. Cell being created from Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and I think Frieza. It's been a long time, so I can't remember. And Metal Sonic being based off, well, Sonic. Another thing to take into account, they both use their respective counterparts' abilities. Cell can use Piccolo's Special Beam Cannon, Goku's classic iconic Kamehameha, Vegeta's Gallic Gun. Metal Sonic has all Sonic speed, dirt strength, combat ability, and I think he can use Chaos Energy. Or at most, just get into a super form in his Neo form, which only happened once in the IDW comics. So canonically, he can get a super form, but he needed the Master Emerald at the time for that. It's hard to say. One thing I do, this has been bothering me ever since they announced this fight. Can Metal Sonic copy Cell's abilities with the biocopy system he has? And even if he could, would he still be able to even use his abilities? Because here's the thing, the respective energies that their universes use are not the same. In the universe Cell is from, in DBZ, they have Ki, but Sonic's world uses Chaos Energy. So even if Metal Sonic could copy Cell's power, would he be able to use Ki? Or would he have to subsidize that with Chaos Energy instead? That's the thing that's been bothering me and probably going to be a deciding factor for this. But regardless, we're about to find out. We'll let Boomstick and Wiz handle the analysis from here. So sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee. Let's begin, shall we?
Cell versus Metal Sonic.
Which copycat android is truly the superior model?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
So it looks like they're going to have Metal Sonic start out in his Neo form. I guess that makes it easier.
There's a monster stalking Ginger Town. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes. Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind.
Some kind of creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims and add their energy to its wretched gestalt.
But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history,
Dragon Ball
the Red
primary
Ribbon
canon,
Army.
manga
Until
and
they
anime.
got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
I don't know how I keep
Red
forgetting about the Red
Ribbon's
Ribbon
dream of
Army.
revenge lived
Red
on
Ribbon.
within their head scientist, Dr. Giro.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Giro would go to work studying the Z fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton
Even
of them.
himself.
Infinite energy androids, key-absorbing androids, trucker head androids, and even ginger androids.
What's wrong with 16?
None of Giro's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Giro's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had battled on Earth, and when fully evolved, would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of them is the power to manipulate Ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Chiaotzu on this list.
I
Sorry,
wonder
bud.
why.
Chiaotzu human?
Oh,
Okay.
Good question.
Cell can fire the Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
and because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some keys.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return.
Essentially, he has to be completely and utterly eradicated in one fell swoop. There's even a single atom left of him. He's coming back.
Even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as
Yep.
well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he's effectively the ultimate warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Giro's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks.
Right.
Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks.
You know.
Very complicated.
This is why I hate
Like
time
5
travel shit.
timelines.
As Cell defeated and absorbed the androids, he evolved.
Marvel,
not only getting
imperfect,
stronger,
semi-perfect,
but changing
and
his
perfect,
personality
and super
and developing
perfect.
a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
While the vast majority of our solar system's mass is located in the sun, this
Right.
still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet.
But Wiz, maybe he was just exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's
Nah.
claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In
Yup.
the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And Cell
Yes,
was,
he was
far
visible.
stronger than Frieza was. at
That's
that
how
point
big
in
it
time.
was. It
Hell,
was
the
visible.
Namekians could sense him all the way from a different galaxy and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing even the strongest Z fighters at the time. Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet in heaven all the way to hell, hundreds of billions of light years in half a minute.
Jesus.
And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze mini Cell Juniors out of your butt? What?
Oh, yeah,
Never heard of
that.
key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Perfect Cell was entirely without peer and, no longer wedded to Giro's petty grudge, decided to prove it with a tournament.
The Cell Game!
The Cell
If
Games.
Goku couldn't even
Classic.
beat him, what hope did anyone else have? Vegeta couldn't even handle a Cell Jr.
Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
After Cell arrogantly let him power up, Gohan unleashed his rage, pushed the bug monster to his absolute limits, and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta,
Yup.
aren't you?
In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him all-powerful also sowed the seeds of his defeat.
He got so mad he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chiaotzu in him after all.
Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and
Nope.
he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked.
Super perfect Cell. Now
Somehow.
with more lightning. In a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan and went the distance.
But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond.
What can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes to recreate the most fearsome warrior in the universe is one single cell.
Time and again, the world and its cuddly forest critters were threatened by the evil and oval Dr.
Yep.
Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No
Fastest
matter
thing
how
alive.
many robotic badniks the good doctor threw at his blue
Franchise,
spiky nemesis,
primary
his
canon,
schemes
video
were
games,
always
and
6
IDW
spin jumps to
comics.
the glowing weak
So
spot
Archie
away
Comics not
from
gonna get
getting
involved.
cracked and
Okay.
scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't
Never is.
defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own, Metal Sonic.
Well,
His
0
greatest
points
creation.
on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he does look metal as hell.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly
Likes
to nearby
runtime
planets
breezy.
in
Since when did he
seconds.
like
He's
breezy?
tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can
Surprisingly.
use all of Sonic's power-ups and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V maximum overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path, at the risk of self-destructing.
You
Of
think
course.
all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill?
Nope.
But it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's
Right.
defeats gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he?
Oh, that
Why
chapter in the
should he
IDW was
exist?
so
Never
dark.
one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You,
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we
So
mean
freaking Metal.
literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is
He
equipped
did.
with scanners in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch, Tails' magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like Silver Psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or alter his very biology to copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by
Yep.
copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction,
Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
The Chaos
You
Emeralds.
mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Which you've only seen
Completely
once in the
invulnerable
IDW
and
comics.
completely golden. Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds are inconceivably powerful. They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo Metal Sonic should be just as powerful as any of them. Though he's gotta be quick, because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road
Yep.
to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fleet and became
Metal Overlord.
Complete with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material.
And he knew it. His ego might as well have had its own health bar. Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that he was the original and Sonic the loathsome copy.
A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down.
He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing that made the Sonic heroes successful: their friendship and teamwork.
Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things.
It is. I hated that level in Sonic Heroes so much.
Reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code.
Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again.
I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes?
It's really hard to say anymore.
Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Maybe the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death
battle! Let's see which copycat takes the win. Okay, Stealth is obliterating the Eggman army already.
Dr. Robotnik. Your reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter, or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master. Perfect.
Literally. Damn, count him mid-spin dash? And again, Zava can do that to Sonic. Oh. Come on, Metal, you're getting juggled here. Oh, it's that barrier. Oh, special beam cannon! Ooh. Metal, you're getting tossed around.
Does a machine like yourself ever experience fear? Not anymore.
He's bringing out the Metal Overlord already? Ooh. Where did he take that? Oh boy.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form. I already possess his data. Observe.
Dust. He really stopped him from using... There it is.
Life form data successfully copied.
Uh-oh.
It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet!
We'll see, Cell. He's got your data now.
I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
In Super Neo Metal. Oh, oh! Now he's getting blitzed. Super Perfect Cell. And he's bringing out the Cell Juniors. Oh! You think you're the only one? And... go!
Don't you dare.
Oh! Celebi saw it coming. Uh-oh. Oh no! Metal is not gonna work!
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them!
Can't beat this back, Metal. Oh.
You are all of them. Then so am I.
That damn chaos control.
To a machine like...
Damn. KO!
So, now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked.
Yup.
Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal.
Right.
Or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap
course.
entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did,
Right.
but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go.
Right.
Especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Math.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games,
Right.
which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
What's
Just
a
like Time
tiny
Eater.
variable,
The difference,
but
though, was
still.
that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move upwards of 100 times faster than that. And
So Cell had
100
speed.
times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed.
Surprisingly.
You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Right.
Cell
Time
and his juniors
can
had
matter
no way to
anymore.
deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability
Adaptation.
to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability
Right.
to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb androids 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember,
Right.
Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are
Surprisingly.
described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's
Oh,
a precedent for
that's
him being
okay.
able to replicate
See,
Cell's
I
powers.
said-
and at this
I said earlier, if you can manipulate Ki, that'll be the deciding factor. the Chaos Emeralds let him use that. That's where it got him. Okay.
Point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
And why's that?
Cell died.
Ugh.
Wiz, you get it? CD? Wiz, where you go? Come on,
The
man.
winner is Metal Sonic.
Next time on Death
Jesus,
Battle.
that was horrible. What we got next? I got nothing. Oh, wait a minute.
Subscribe and join us
Bakugo versus
see
Rize?
more Death Battle. Thanks for
Okay, that'll be. I honestly got nothing on this one. If I honestly thought they were gonna have Bakugo fighting Yang Xiao Long from Ruby, but Rize from what was it? Chainsaw Man? Now that one's a surprise. The only thing the only thing I can only understand that have in common is that they both have literal explosive power. Again, literal explosive power. Bakugo's power is explosion. This one's gonna be tricky because I never watched Chainsaw Man, and honestly, I'm not sure if I ever will. It just never interested me out of all the other anime. But this was a good fight. Once again, I'm still Metal Sonic Laser. But yeah, I knew if the Chaos Emeralds, if it can manipulate Ki, then that was gonna be the deciding factor whether or not Metal was gonna win this fight. And lo and behold, he did. So that's going to be it for this episode of House Odyssey Reacts. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and a comment. And as always, Masters and Misses, we hope to see you again soon.